Hi, this is Philip again, and welcome back to our short course for Shopify Hydrogen 2.0 plus Remix. And I think what we done so far for the last part of this session 2, which is the other hooks that we discussed previously. And in this video, we're going to take up the remaining hooks, which are the use feature and use dehydrated hooks, and how we are going to apply it in our existing component. And I think in this demonstration, we are going to apply it in our component that we created previously, which is the announcement bar. And I think without any further delay, let's go ahead. And I think before we are going to start, we are going to look at what we used to have previously. So what we did, we had a shipping bar in our cart drawer. Now we're going to apply these changes in our local get control. So how you gonna do that? There are two things. You can just add get add as that, then it will automatically apply the changes. But if you want to trigger this interference interface like get add hyphen I. So I want to check what are those files that are updated. I think the cart. So I will going to apply one or asterisk. If there are multiple files update, then you are just type asterisk. If not, then just type one, then enter. Then I think I need to add the untrackable files, which is the new shipping bar. So I want to add it like I'm gonna say 4. Then here I'm gonna say up 1, then enter. And I think I'm gonna get up from the screen. So the last steps is the get commit message hyphen message, then say adding shipping functionality to your to cart drawer like that. And then once it's done, I will going back to my previous main branch. I'm gonna say get branch. So I want to get to the master branch. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna check out master. So we are not in a remote branch, so we doesn't need to specify origin like that. So right now we say we're still in the local environment, so we just say get check out master, and now we are switching in our master branch. And I think if you will find it here, it was deleted the shipping bar, and I think some of the changes was also removed. Now how we are going to merge our previous branch that we created for the shipping bar. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna just say get, then merge, then I think what you have to do is to type the what branch you are going to merge, like merge, then added shipping bar to cart branch. Now it is applied to our master branch. Now it is now completed, and if you will see that the shipping bar is no longer the flag as a deleted files. So now I think we are ready to go with another changes that we're going to apply. So we are going to apply those hooks into announcement bar. So we're going to create another branch for that. So you're gonna check out this branch. Then let me say announcement bar changes for use feature, and I think that's too long. We're gonna say you're gonna say just announce something like that. Some announcement bar fixes like this. Then you check out. Now we are now in our another branch created, and now we are going to start. So we are safe. We are doesn't thinking about if our changes will apply also into our master branch. So that's no longer the same. And this is the way how we are going to control our version to our Hydrogen app. Now, the next steps is to add these hooks. So I will going to introduce you the use feature, but before that, we're going to look at the documents available in a Remix. And this use feature is applies to a different useful finching method like routes or submit data and so on. Just try to look at how exactly this works and how you are going to understand these things. But in this demo, I will going to give you a short overview on how to apply it, and maybe it will help you to understand doing these things in the future. All right, so here, let's going back to our VS Code, and now I will going to apply this hooks use feature. So in here, I think what we did previously, we inject this announcement bar in our cart. So let's go back to our cart component, and we're going to look at the announcement bar. Just find it here. No, sorry, it's not a cart. It's a layout. It's on the layout, and here we are. Now we're going to use the use feature. So what will be the module we're going to import in our component. So we're gonna say constant and say variable feature. I think that's wrong. Feature use feature if there is feature, yeah, and like that. And I think it will automatically added at the top in a remix component. Oh, sorry, remix module. So let's go back there. Where is that announcement bar? Where we are? Here. So now we are going to apply the use feature as we were going to see the sample that we found in this document. And I think what is applicable for now is this, the use effect. So we're gonna apply this use effect, goes down in our component. And now we are going to create our page. So what is my plan is that since that our document, hold on, I think we're gonna run this out npm run dev, and while waiting that the mini oxygen will run to our local environment, let's going to create a page because we are going to apply the date announcement inside in our page uh, in the back end. This is just an example how you are going to understand and what will be the uses of the use feature. It is not like what we thought that could be different, but this is the thing that how you are going to use the use feature. So let's go ahead and add a page here. We're gonna say announcement, announcement bar, announcement bar, and I think I need to copy the date because as what I saw, the date is already expired and it returning a negative value to our announcement bar. So we're gonna try to check in our preview, like here. See, it's being displayed negative. So we're going to resolve that problem, and we want to let the your client just to add those value in the back end, so they don't touch anything in the side of our storefront in our Hydrogen app. So we're gonna copy this just to set an example. Let's go back here, then save that. Now what we need to do, if you are going to manually browse this URL into our page in our Hydrogen app like that, then it is displaying this date. Now we are going to pick up down to our component. So let's go back to the home page. Now here we are going to use the use feature for that purposes. Let's go back to the layout, and here I will going to apply the page that I copied the URL like that. All right, so now I'm going to console the uh, feature feature data to see what exactly the information provided and the result of the fence the fence hook. All right, so we're gonna inspect and look at the announcement bar, and here we are. Now I think there's an object of brought from, let me, the layout component. Yeah, I think it is now added the announcement bar. If you see the page and the body, and this is the date that we are going to apply in our announcement bar component to resolve this negative value, because this is a static value added in our component. Now we are going to apply it that the client or your customer will easily apply it in the back end side. But in the later tutorial or in the short course, I will going to provide you more sophisticated uh, features and how we're going to apply it using a meta object, more on GraphQL features. So here, this is the response from the feature. So now let's go back in our component. Now you will, okay, let's go back here. So here we are, it is now displaying this issue with hydrating and how we are going to resolve this problem. And most of us, maybe you are just new in React server side rendering like Remix or Hydrogen 2.0 or Next.js. And I think we are dealing with a server side application. Now, this is the problem with hydrating features. If you doesn't really understand this thing, then you come up with a dead end that you cannot resolve. There might be a good solution that they provided over what I also did previously, but I could not really uh, understand what they're saying about this problem to start the transition. So the Hydrogen Remix, they now provided a custom hook. If you look at in our components on in the app, we have this hook, and there is a use is hydrated. If you look at here, it's just a simple hook that just giving use effect and use state components. It says that this hook could be replaced by remix utility hook should we want to go down this route. All right, so I think we're gonna apply this, and in our layout, let's go back here. We're gonna resolve that problem. Now I want to again I want to use another variable like say is hydrated like that. Then here use hydrated is hydrated. Then the same thing or this. Okay, that's it. I think it will automatically once you type the name of this hook then tab it will completely added it at the top of your components. If you see here I think it's already added here. So it is a custom hook, and let's go back again to this down, and here we are going to apply the hydrated. And I think what we need to do here is to add the condition for the hydrated state, and like that. Then here I think I had to uh, add this another value for in triggering this use effect. We're gonna save and let's try to look at in our uh, preview if the dehydration is no longer visible. All right, so I think it's still there. So I think what we have to do right now is to go back, and probably we need to set a timeout with our hooks. So the existing hooks it should be somewhere here like this one. In this use effect I'm gonna add set timeout just to provide a little delay before the use state set hydrated will be set into true state. Okay, and here I'm gonna add 200 milliseconds, and let's try to go back in our storefront preview. Now I think it's gone. So I think that's the one thing. If something like dehydration are still visible in your storefront, we are going to add this a little delay in our use hydrated effects. I think that's the one thing that already resolved. Now let's go back to announcement bar now. Yes, I think what we need to do here is to transfer this data into another use state variable. So we're gonna say, let me say use state date validated, then set date validated, then use state, then like we're gonna add array as any, then save. Now I will going to add another use effect if something is not right. Okay, we're gonna try if this will be applies even though if inside in the this thing. We're going to try and say set date validate, then I want to add this feature data inside and save. Then here we're going to console the date validate use state variable, and let's go back to our preview. I think it's not added. You see that? Now what this is the time that it is recommendable. We're going to add a use effect, another use effect that we are going to apply with this. And here I'm gonna use the same variable like feature and is hydrated. And this one I'm going to transfer that here. Then I think what I need to do is to add a condition like is hydrated is true. Then transfer that value to this uh, information. And then let's go back in our storefront. Now it is available. And think that we are ready now to transfer this value, the what you call that, this to this date into our component. So what we need to do here is to uh, add a use effect again. We're gonna say use effect. Then here I will going to apply the date validation. So date validation. So every time if there's a new value added to that date validation, then this will prompt us to tell us that there's already a value now. What I'm gonna do here, I want to move this value using uh, DOM parser, because right now if you look at that value, we cannot easily get this value just telling the JavaScript that we're going to take this body body key. So we're gonna try that up, add it here. I'm gonna say page, and probably the most safer way how you are not interrupting your apps. If something wrong with that, if the value is not available, then you need to add a question mark. Then still rebuilding the storefront, and let's go back again here. Okay, now let's see that there is an error, and hopefully, okay, something's wrong with that what we had here. So it's okay. So I think what I need is the feature again. The feature, probably I need that. Save. Let's gonna wait if this will okay. Still not. So hard to reload. If something works, and then if not, then I will going to comment this out. Rebuild. Let's go back. I think it's time to reload our uh, mini oxygen. Run again the npm run dev, and just wait if this will work. Okay, I think this must be added as if probably is hydrated. Then that's it, like that. Added here, and another condition. Maybe I want to add a feature that data. If this data return with value, then that's the time are we going to execute this console. Save. Let's go back here in our preview. I think it's already loaded. Open up here. Open. I think it's open in the default browser. Okay, so we're gonna inspect to see how it works. Now it is now uh, give us this the content for the body. Now it's time for us to use the DOM parser. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna say let me say data date extractor. So variable, this is just a variable. You can name it whatever you want. So DOM parser, because we are dealing with an HTML that wanted to extract that particular value. So here we're gonna say parser from string. Then this is from the date body page, sorry, question mark, then page question mark dot body, and then text plus HTML, like that. And then let's try to console if this is working. Let's say log, then date extract, then let me say question mark there. Then I want to query that span, and then I want to get that inner HTML and save. Then let's go back and hoping that it works. Okay, it's here. So I think there is another issue that dehydration is again flagging to this thing. Okay, so I think what if we are just okay? Let me check that here. It seems like if we are going to comment this, then let's try to look at if the dehydration is still visible. I think it's not. So something wrong with this. Okay. Okay. So what if I were going to use the is hydrated? Then let's add a comment here, and then let's try to look at how it works. Now I think it's working fine. So I think the hydrated are much reliable. Okay, now it's time for us to push this value down to our component. Now we're gonna add another use state variable, say extracted date, then set date, extracted date, then use state, say string as any. Then after that, we're going back here. Then I would like to move this value down to the variable. So if this is not returning null, then I want to set this into variable and add that in here. I think I need to lock in an HTML like that, then save. Then let's try if this is, it is not flagging to dehydration. Now I think it's fine. Now let's go back to this thing. I think I need to extracted, I need to move this value to the announcement bar. Extracted date, then extracted use state value. Now in our use state component, we're going to add that props. Then this will return any value. Then here we're going to try to console if that is already transfer this value to down to our component. And let's go back to our preview. Now it is undefined, but if you see here, there is already a, now I think the issue here is that the value we passed are undefined, and then it's still throwing to that children component, children element. So what we need to do, I need to change, we'll go back to the layout, then we're going to change it to null instead of string. Then we're gonna go back again to announcement bar, and here we are going to apply the as our trigger value to this, and then we're going to add a condition. If this extracted are returning null, then it will not execute this set interval. Okay, so that's it. Then let's try to run if this is working good, and still rebuilding. And then let's go back to our preview. Okay, so I think there's still a, yes, I think this is okay now. And then what we need to do here is to add another condition. Wait, okay, I think that's an old, I'm gonna refresh if the hydration is still all right. So I think it is working well. So now what's the time is, we are going to change the date in here. They're gonna say just okay, just try to change the month and save. And it might take sometimes to refresh those content with this pincher data. So I'm gonna refresh and hoping that will be, I think still is still returning to that value. Okay, we will try to wait for a few minutes, then it will be bring the exact date. Now I think it is returning the exact date that we added into our page. So you see here that it is now 22 days remaining to our get percent off to our items. So I think that's it, and I think hopefully you will know how to apply those hooks that is more useful in building to your Shopify Hydrogen apps. And I think thank you so much for your support and continuing patronizing to my channel, and hoping that we can see each other again. Bye for now.